The misfortune of two butterflies being in love.
Yeah, we all have these childhood memories of, connecting with nature, being in nature, going camping, going into a forest, doing all kinds of things that are related to nature, fishing, whatever it may be. And those impressions turn us into a nature-loving human being, somebody who tolerates nature, or somebody who has no connection to nature. If you've never had any childhood experiences going into a forest or leaving your computer or going into a public park or whatever it may be, if you don't have those experiences as a child, it's going to be very hard for you to have any type of connection to nature. Yeah, I want to talk about an experience that I had that was it's haunting me a little bit at night. I dream about it, and the whole thing wasn't really good. I feel really guilty about it. So what was happening is my neighbor, who is causing me all this trouble, was trying to sell me her land. Her land is worth about, well paid is $8,000, but she wanted 30 from me. So I listened to her. And, the only interest I had was to get rid of her because she's such a pain in the rear end. Anyway, so she took me on a tour of the property and showed me everything that's there. And my number was, 7, 8, because she doesn't have the paperwork in order. You would have to buy it in such a way that you would just get a piece of paper from her saying that, you're the owner. And it wasn't very appealing and very dangerous. So anyways, we're walking the land, and I didn't have my camera with me. We got pretty close back to the lodge here. These two butterflies show up. 8 inches, 20 centimeters, something like that. The female was a little bit smaller. Incredibly beautiful butterflies. They're called owl butterflies because they have great big eyes on their backs, and there's 20 different varieties. This one had quite a bit of blue in it, the pair. So the butterflies are fluttering around, and there's one flower. It's like a scene, like a movie scene. There's one flower that is sticking out of the grass. It's not a very attractive flower, but nonetheless, it's a place for them to land. So I said to the lady, and her husband was there too, I said, hang on, keep an eye on where they are, because I'm going to grab my camera. So I started running up to get my camera, and I turn around, and all I could see is her with her rubber boots stomping both the male and female to death. I'm like, I couldn't even believe somebody would do that. I've never seen butterflies like that. We have these odd butterflies and birds showing up and, insects showing up that you've never seen before. But these butterflies were big and thick. And it turns out they don't fly very well because they're so heavy. So they basically flutter like 20 feet, land again. Flutter 20 feet again, so that the predators that are after them really can't get a fix on them because they're constantly moving a little bit. Anyway, so she killed these butterflies. And any chance of getting this real estate deal done for me was out the door. I don't deal with people like that. So my question to you guys is, would you be capable of stomping on top of two beautiful butterflies like that? Would you be capable of doing that? Would you have the envy or the anger in you to actually kill these butterflies? And that question has haunted me a lot. Like I'm kind of thinking of when I see somebody that's aggressive and angry and really spiteful and envious or whatever these traits might be, I always think of this butterfly incident, and I always think, you know what, this person would stomp out those butterflies as well. And it's interesting how you, in your dream world or your mental world where you're thinking of an incident that happened in your life, and you superimpose that incident onto that person. And you say, yeah, that person would stomp those butterflies out. They would kill those butterflies in an instant. So back to this lady, I'm I was kind of trying to understand how somebody would do that. And then I kind of understand they have this built-in anger towards anything that is absolutely beautiful. They get triggered by this experience of something that is so precious and so beautiful that they have to stomp it out. There's no way for them to actually allow that butterfly pair to flutter along and mind their own business. No, she had to stomp them out. So this reminds me when I was a kid, I always had this idea of these special animals or special creatures or special insects or whatever it may be, that these special insects were worth discovering, worth finding, worth going for in the woods to find something incredibly beautiful. And these insects, they always show up sort of when you least expect it. It's hard to go looking for butterflies. It's when you're basically, or any other animal, they show up on their time, on their terms. And this just happened to be the term or the time, and they just, they fluttered into the wrong person. And so could you kill something like that? Could you be capable of, fighting this natural beauty? Could you do something like that? And my answer is I would. I just like, I get upset to the stomach when somebody does these crazy things against nature. And it's quite hard to understand how a human could have that built-in mechanism. And it has to be stomped out. We have to sort of, take a complete different look at everything that is alive. Like those butterflies, they might have, in this area, there might be 10 of them. Like they're so big, they're designed poorly, they can't fly, they're so heavy, the only mechanism they have is the eye on the back, so other predators get confused. So this idea of stomping out something like that haunts me. I think about it. I'm constantly reminded in my thought processes that, somebody was capable of stomping out such beauty. But I want to use it as a great example of what nature might have in store for us, how we deal with nature and our attitudes. So there's many children that are nature kids. They just like everything that is natural, animals. They have animal books. They love dinosaurs. They're these kids that, you put them outside, they will go underneath rocks. They'll go in the river. They'll dig for crawfish. They'll do whatever it takes for them to quench their curiosity. What happens is we are losing that connection with nature. We have less and less children that have ever had dirt under their fingernails. They have never experienced something so marvelous in nature that they're completely addicted to nature. It's not happening too much anymore. And nature is slowly dwindling because we've lost that respect for everything that is alive. And this butterfly incident is interesting to me because, it really shows me this lack of respect. So let's say you have 100 people around you, and these butterflies show up, and you kill them, you stomp them to death. I wonder what the number of the people would be that would actually complain. Hey, you can't be doing this stuff. Why would you do that? Why did you kill these butterflies? It's interesting if we really have this human tolerance towards destroying natural beauty. Does it really exist? Do people even care anymore? Is it acceptable that we're just continuously wiping out more and more of the natural environment? Always think of this butterfly incident. It's a really good example of how you have a momentary decision to change the world by killing those butterflies. You're changing the timeline. The butterfly effect, it does take place in our world, and it's actually getting worse and worse because we simply, I don't know how to put it, we simply do not respect this energy nature has, And we need to understand that without nature, we're nothing. We're gone. We're not even going to be on this planet.